Welcome back to part two of episode 5 of Smack Talk. We are talking right now about R-Truth being suspended for apparently the same marijuana or fake marijuana that Evan Bourne was suspended for. Now, if you followed the past couple episodes of Smack Talk, you know that the Evan Bourne suspension has been causing some controversy. There has been talk that somebody, apparently now it's R-Truth, had also tested positive, rather, for the same spice drug and wasn't being suspended. So people were critical, saying, why suspend Evan Bourne and not one of your main eventers? Now, we get the answer because they were waiting for Survivor Series. Very smart idea in my mind, because I am completely behind the concept of make the people work for you so you don't lose your money and they can get fined and lose their money instead of sit home for 30 days and rest and will kind of have to rewrite everything for you. So, R-Truth suspended for 30 days. The first thing I'm thinking of, this is a big old conspiracy.
Pigeons and shit. Um,
One,
Basically, this whole situation, there, there, there's two reasons why they've suspended him now. One, apparently, Miz is going to be like the big heel on Raw now, which they've buried the guy so much. I don't even know how they're going to get him back into that position. And secondly, Vince is looking at turning heel, like Truth face, so he's going to be like the number two face, under Punk. The number three face under Cena, and it's
bad idea.
little Jimmy t-shirts. Uh,
See, they could market that stuff without him turning face. I mean, people buy Miz shirts, people buy, they bought Sheamus shirts when he was still a heel, and
yeah, but
Christian sells
Vince.
merchandise.
Vince doesn't believe that he'll sell merchandise.
I know, he should just look at the reports and get proven wrong.
I know, but this is Vince. If anyone says he's wrong, they'll get fired.
Yeah.
Look what happened to Dave Taylor. He got fired just for saying that the reports about him and Birchwell as a tag team, were wrong and that they were actually working really good. And they should just check with the crowd and see what the crowd's doing. And then he got fired the next day. So, no one's really gonna tell Vince no. He's got a bunch of yes men there. So, he
Kevin
wants
Dunn.
to. Exactly. And the fact is, he's not really gonna listen to anybody else. He's just gonna do what he likes. And then once Truth bombs as a face, they're just gonna probably turn him heel again.
Well, if
My,
they keep his character the same, there is a slight possibility that it could work. But then they already have Santino, so they don't really need two completely uh, odd, funny baby faces out there. And I really think if you're talking about the spot below Punk and Cena for Raw, I don't know why they're not looking at Zack Ryder right now.
Ryder's too early. I think they need to give him the mid card title and see how he runs with that. Because, as I will say before, most of his heat is being generated by Ziggler. Once he transitions into a new feud, he needs to carry that momentum with him. He needs to make sure that he can get himself over. Look at Bryan with the US title after the Miz and him stopped, feuding over the belt. His heat just went down the toilet. Most of that was because of the Bella twins.
Yeah.
Oh God, they were like,
Now they're doing that to
walk,
Del Rio.
oh, they destroy those two. Literally, you just get them around a wrestler, and they just destroy the guy.
Get them around a match and they'll destroy that too.
Yeah, they're like the Yoko Ono twins of the WWE.
Then they've
You know,
also got Alex Riley, and they've also got,
isn't
well,
Riley injured at the moment?
I
I
think
swear he's
he's
injured.
I think he's back and just wrestling on Superstars.
Oh, that's why I haven't seen him
Right.
because I don't watch Superstars.
That's why I only think that he's back. I'm not positive yet. I've only watched one episode of Superstars, and that was the very first one.
Oh,
But
okay.
with they got Riley, they've got Zack Ryder that they could put some more stock into. They could always turn somebody else. I think R-Truth right now is doing so well that it's a mistake if they first off, it's a mistake if he spends 30 days sitting at home, and then second off, if he comes back as a babyface, it's just going to be a disappointment because I've been enjoying the hell out of R-Truth, and
Yeah, I think they should have just turned Miz face. That would have worked even better. You know,
I think they could have
the
just
end.
split him up without either of them turning.
Well, the thing is, Miz has done all he can as a heel. There's not really much else he can do. And with all the momentum that him and Truth have lost over the past couple of months because the WWE booking committee have just been sitting there twiddling their thumbs and like, oh, we don't need to book people properly. We'll just let The Rock do it. We'll just have The Rock just stand there and do his catchphrases and go la 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 with his tongue and talk about Cena's vagina and that will work. Um, with that, it's just they've literally have taken away any heat that Truth and Miz had. So the only other route they can go with is splitting the team up. But I would have rather had Cena just destroy Truth or something and, have it get split up that way. And then eventually just have Truth come back as a heel
Right.
and maybe like have like a nice little freeway match with Miz and Truth versus Cena or something like that.
Well, I thought when they first started teasing this breakup, I thought that they were going to do something along the lines of suspend him. But then when they actually kind of went back and forth for that split second at the end of Raw, my first thought after that ran right to, all right, let's get the three of these guys on the card as a triple threat match, and you can have two heels against one face in that match. And every triple threat has that part of it where the one tries to pin the guy and the other one who's been teaming up with him decides, hey, I want to get the pinfall and all that. So you can have a little bit of a dissension between Truth and Miz and that. And Cena can come out and pin R-Truth at the end. And then they could just do kind of some sort of an injury angle and then suspend him after that. But then, of
Yeah,
course, the next thing's the Royal Rumble, and you really need your guys. So,
I think
well,
they also did the suspension to stop the PR nightmare that was going around
right. I think
because
that's the
tabloids.
majority factor here is that they saw all the controversy that it was causing, and they were just like, you know what, let's just suspend him, and then people can't say that we're being hypocritical. But they
Yeah,
wouldn't
even
have
though
done
they
that
are.
definitely if it would have been Triple H or John Cena or Randy Orton or any of those.
Yeah, they probably failed a drug test every now and then. Those guys. Yeah, I know Orton has.
Right.
So they've just basically at the moment doing it to appease the fans and appease the tabloids. There's not really much else they can do in regards to the situation. Do I think it's right? Yeah, of course. No one should get away
Right.
with smoking like spice because that stuff can kill, and it's proven that the stuff has killed people. So they really need to get away from that. I'd rather just, if I'm gonna do marijuana, just not do the synthetic stuff. Just do the normal marijuana and just pay the damn fine. If you're that addicted to the thing, at least you know you're gonna stay on the card. There's no reason to go around and start doing spice and know that you're gonna get bloody suspended because you lose money either way. You're gonna lose more money that way. So it was a stupid move. I hope he learns his lesson. I really do.
Well, the truth will set him free.
Oh yeah, the truth has set him free,
And how much more
and so
puns
it's a
can we get
pinch
in
of shit.
here that he's going to come back as a good R-Truth? That now he got. That's what's up.
Oh god, if he says I got, then I'm just gonna end up laughing my socks off. The
We
guy, there's so much left in him. There's so much potential there for him to have a rather lengthy career in the WWE, even though his age, he's rather older than most of the new talent, but there's a lot for him to do, and hopefully he won't get depushed when he comes back.
You
But
know
we'll
what he should
see.
do? He should come back and be like, "You shouldn't have suspended me. You should have suspended yourselves," and just go right back into the heel character.
Yeah, I just hope that he can stay as relevant as he was.
Right. Somebody
That's
else with heat on them right now, which is absolutely ridiculous, is Zack Ryder. He is apparently getting in trouble because he dyed his hair without permission, and
ooh,
his
bad boy.
merchandise shows him having darker hair. So for all the people that look at Zack Ryder's face and his glasses and his headband and his t-shirt and his hoodie and the scarf and all the other merchandise, they're gonna go, damn it, he's got lighter hair right now. I don't think
The
I can buy
rug
this.
doesn't match the curtains.
it it clearly seems like they're just he's getting high up on his own and they're pissed about it. So they're going to try to push him down a little bit, teach him a lesson because, oh, you should be doing things and getting yourselves over. But once you get over, then we don't want you to get over because then you're kind of a threat because we didn't push you. And to me, I hope that this is one of those things where they just had one conversation with him and said, look, if you're going to be a guy in the future that is going to be a dependable go to one of our primary guys, you got to consult us before you kind of do this stuff. It's a fuck up, but we'll forgive you. That kind of a thing. I hope this isn't one of those things where now people are starting to go, well, he's not ready to get pushed and all that kind of backstage nonsense politics.
I don't think Vince is going to listen to it anyway because he's in the frame of mind of rewarding anyone who thinks outside the box. Hence the reason DiBiase is getting pushed on SmackDown.
DiBiase posse.
Yep, the whole tailgating thing. I thought that was a new sex craze, but apparently it's not.
Well, Vince was just really hungry one day, came out, DiBiase gave him a hot dog, and he was just like, you know what, you're getting a push now.
Yeah, it was just one of those things. It's he likes innovative guys. So if anyone says to Vince, "Oh, don't push him," I think Vince is just going to be like, "Fuck off."
The third
You know,
person who's having problems right now that I kind of said I wouldn't really talk about, but I keep talking about him because it's just
shall remain
interesting.
nameless.
Matt Hardy has once again, surprise, surprise, gotten into legal trouble. He has failed a breathalyzer test and gotten kicked out of rehab. The
He is
rehab that's supposed to fix all the
the
problems.
only wrestler to get kicked out of rehab. We have to put that down there.
Literally the only one. I didn't know that fact.
Yep, he is the only
Not even
person.
Scott Hall, Sean Waltman, all the
No, not
others.
even Hall. Hall was a good boy until he left rehab.
Oh, that is so bad when you make Scott Hall look good. Matt Hardy. I mean, I I've been critical of Matt Hardy for a long time, and I've always considered him basically only successful because of his brother. And I've been critical of Jeff because of his problems. But the thing I always said, until now, of course, was if Jeff Hardy's talent could be put in Matt Hardy's uh, ability to follow the rules, then they would have had a huge superstar. But now it seems like the opposite has happened, where Jeff Hardy's problem have gone into Matt Hardy. Now Jeff looks like the more responsible one, which is really odd, and Matt is kind of giving Jeff a run for his money. I mean, then what's next going to happen? I mean, you're pretty low on the scale when you get kicked out of rehab, especially when you went on a whole diatribe about how this time it's different. Oh, I saw the light. Oh, I'm gonna fix this. I'm gonna open up a school. I'm gonna teach people and all that. If you can't even get something as simple as rehab down, you're really in a bad spot, man.
Well, at the end of the day, you got to think about who gave him the drink in the first place. You also got to think about who did he visit that day. Where did he get his drinks from? Where did he do all these things that got him in jail under a £1 million bond or $1 million. Sorry, it's £500,000 bond. Um, so we have to think about that, and secondly, where the hell is Shane Helms? Where the hell is Shannon Moore? Where the hell is Jeff Hardy?
Well, Shane, last I had heard, Shane was still kind of messed up from his DUI or DWI, whatever one it was. So I don't know if Shane can really help that much. Gregory Helms is kind of
Bro,
got his own problems he's dealing with.
all you need is one guy to say to him, "Hey Matt, I don't think that's a good idea. You're in rehab.
Yeah,
Put it down."
it's always surprising me that Shannon Moore hasn't gotten involved in any of this because Gregory Helms has had his problems. Jeff and Matt, they've had their problems. Kind of a sideliner of R Truth was involved with them a little bit, and he's had his problems in the past, and of course right now. And it seems like Shannon Moore is just kind of it floats right over him. I always thought that was very odd. It's a shame that he doesn't kind of rub off on the rest of them.
Yeah, it's a silly thing, really. This whole situation, because you look at it, you look at Matt, you look at Jeff, you look at the fact they screwed up, and the only difference is Jeff's getting a chance to rectify his mistakes, even though he's probably done worse than what his brother's been doing at the moment. But Matt has a huge addiction going on at the moment, so he needs the people who are supposed to be his friends, who are supposed to love him and care for him and whatnot, look out for him. You know, he even had Rebby Sky or Squire, whatever bloody heck her name, the nude girl on the photo.
The very,
She was
very,
going on.
very attractive girl.
Yeah, she's very attractive, but for the love of her, she doesn't have any brains, does she? Because she's sitting there on Twitter bashing the guy. You know, going, "Oh, I'm not going to help. I've got the money to bail him out, but I'm not going to bail him out. He can stew." You just sit there and think to yourself, okay, what the hell's going on? If you're
Well, see,
doing
I'm a
this
little
to
bit
him,
supportive of that though, because if in the past all she's done is make excuses for him, and it's clearly not worked, then maybe this time forcing him to kind of do it on his own is going to be a little bit of a wake up call. I mean, she could always just go back to giving him the baby treatment and supporting him that way. But when
but
you
again,
when you smother people
who?
with all that and make excuses for them, then they just start believing all the excuses.
But I've got a funny feeling that she's not saying herself. She's getting done. She got done for a DWI herself. Who who's not to say that he didn't go down to his home? She was sharing with him, had a beer there.
Right.
Who's to say that she didn't hand him that beer? You
True.
know,
Good
there's a
point.
lot more behind this than what's being actually said. It's not, all black and white. This is what's getting on my nerves with the whole situation because she's sitting there trying to say I'm on my high horse sort of thing and is literally talking about how she needs to let the guy stew and she's had enough of his BS and everything like that. But she's getting done for a DWI herself. She can't sit. That's the pot calling the kettle black. Maybe he needs to like dump the stupid bitch and just be rid of her from his life and sort himself out. Maybe he needs to go back to rehab and sort
Oh,
himself
well,
out.
that's a definite.
Yeah, but he's got to want to go as well because
Right.
apparently the whole reason behind going to rehab was just a PR stunt. He needs to be forced. Maybe even have the have him go to rehab in prison.
Mm.
They've had some sort of scheme going on. The guy needs to fix himself up, and if he doesn't, he's going to end up dead.
Yeah,
And the
he's going to
people
end
who
up
are
one
going
of those quote unquote wrestling commodity kind of things where you follow the same pattern of the British Bulldogs and the
to
crushes and
Mike
everything.
Pillmans, you know, and he's literally got to sort himself out. And if he doesn't, he is going to be on the death list. Not even Angle hasn't even sorted himself out. But
Mm.
Matt doesn't want to go down that route. And all the people that are supposed to have been supporting him, guys like TNA, uh, literally sacked him without any due cause. The WWE attempted to help him. His friends, his family, everyone's just turned their backs and then what's the point? I don't really give a shit what this guy's done to anybody, but he needs help and he needs people around him that can make him see some self truths, who can sit him down and go through things with him and say, look, this has got to stop. This is where you're heading.
Yeah, the one black and white issue of the whole thing is that Matt clearly just is in dire need of help. And
Yeah.
as critical as I am of him, I naturally don't wish anything bad on him. So I'm hoping that that comes along. I don't know when it is going to happen, if it's going to happen at all, who it's going to come by, but
Well, I'll openly
hopefully
say
very
this, but,
soon
you
something
know,
happens.
Matt, I've got a Twitter account at Michael Burhan. Just tweet me, man. If you need to talk to someone, tweet me. I can sit down and talk through with you. I can't claim to be in your position because I've never been in that sort of dire position. I've been offered drugs when I was wrestling, turned them down. If you really, really, are in need for someone to talk to, I'll talk to you. There's probably like a million other people out there who'll talk to you. All your fans on your Twitter page, they'll talk to you. Just don't think that you're alone in this situation because in the end of the day, I'm probably one of the least favorite people of Matt Hardy because I have been, totally um, slagging the guy off on Twitter when he was on about his issues and the fact that he was overplaying the social media a bit, trying to screw with all the fans and stuff. But I don't want to see him go down this road. We've lost too many good people. We've lost Eddie Guerrero. We lost Chris Benoit. We've lost so many people to drugs, and we don't need this to happen again. So if anybody else who's out there, reach out to Matt Hardy. It's get a positive out of this. Don't go down that road, and because obviously a lot of this has happened because of peer pressure as well. We've pressured him to getting himself into proper shape. He's used chemicals to do that. I'm not saying it's just the fans' fault, but we need to put a positive on this. We can't add to the problem.
I'm sure
Maybe we
Bischoff
can
is
for
going
the
to blame the
solution.
fans.
Yeah, but Gregory Helms can just blame anybody else. At the end of the day, he's made his own mistakes. But at least the least he can do is to learn from them. But Matt's so above that at the moment. Matt's not learning from anything. You can tell there's a difference between someone who's being stubborn than someone who's actually in a desperate need for help. And he's crying out. He's crying out to all of us. We can't let this happen again. We can't let another one go because of drug addictions.
Well, part three, we're going to get into something a little bit happier. Daniel Bryan cashed in Money in the Bank. We're going to talk a little bit about that in part three, so stay tuned.